Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Into the Fear. I am your host, Chainsaw Sammy, and welcome back to the annual Christmas episode. I am here. Joining with us again today is our sponsor, Eddie McLaurin, owner of Woods of Terror, and Japes, operator of Lost Souls Haunted Bus Tour in Chicago. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Glad to be here.
Can you believe it? Thanksgiving is literally this coming Thursday. And then after that, it's kickoff Christmas and also Hanukkah, a Krampusnacht. There's so many holidays in December, but yeah. And then the new year. And then we
33
get into
shopping days left.
Yes. Crazy.
I don't know how many it is.
That
I know
is.
all the Christmas stuff is out at the stores. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, it's been out since like September. I was like, okay, no. Halloween hasn't even happened yet. Get this Christmas shit out of here. Just want to run a bold browser through Walmart.
My mom keeps asking for gifts. I'm like, it's not your, for gift list for the kids. And I'm like, Mom, we got time. And then I'm like, oh, no, we don't.
It's as soon as Halloween ends, you forget Thanksgiving, forget, was it Columbus Day or any of the Veterans Day, any of the holidays. It's Christmas as soon as Halloween ends. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Halloween night at midnight, somebody put in on my system down there at the actor's tent, Mariah Carey is at Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, who is playing that? it was John Graves.
Of course it was John.
Yeah, he didn't have nothing better to do.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. So I know it's usually early. I normally do the Christmas episode come December, but because Eddie, you're doing 2 weekends now for Krampus Christmas. That's crazy. It's the second year and you already got 2 weekends of this.
That's right.
Amazing.
Yeah, it blew up so much last year. I was shocked and amazed and happy. And like right now, the ticket sales are coming in like crazy. And I'm like, because, Halloween's what we do, and we like that. And man, the Krampus show is so much laid back. The attendance is not as strong as Woods of Terror. We can go slower. We can spend more time with the actors and with each customer, and just a whole different atmosphere. And it was a lot more fun, more relaxed.
Yes. Last year, it was incredible. Just Woods of Terror, McLaurin Farm just completely lights up like a winter wonderland. It was just so beautiful and memorizing. Compared to just like Halloween. I mean, Halloween, it's gorgeous and lit up, but definitely not like it is for Krampus. It was amazing. Absolutely loved it. Japes, I'm just letting you know, I think you muted your mic on accident.
Nope, I muted on purpose. I got you.
Oh, okay. I just seen that and I was like, uh-oh. I want to make sure we have no technical difficulties. I am doing this so it's same platform, but I finally have my actual entire PC set up. So I'm no longer doing this from a laptop in a corner. I actually have everything set up. So I'm making sure nothing's going bad on my end because it is brand new equipment. So I want to make sure everything works. But yes, back to Krampus Christmas out at Woods of Terror. So here are the dates, ladies and gentlemen, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. And then again, the following weekend, December 5th, 6th, and 7th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. I mean, I had such a blast last year. It was so much fun. I got to bring out my OG.
Wasn't she just talking about technical difficulties?
No.
There's the technical difficulty. I called it out. I called it too soon. Here we go. So I want to say Holcomb took these photos last year, and I know this photo definitely because I remember him taking this photo, but I mean, these photos turned out fantastic. All the promos and everything for this event just looks amazing for this year. Here's a picture of us all sitting around last year, taking photos with the customers and stuff. I mean, absolute blast last year. I do have a little bit of recap videos here.
Someone needs to give me a push. Quit making fun of me.
Oh my gosh. I forgot how long that video was. So my apologies. I thought that was super short. I was like, oh, wait, that's the really long one. Because I got a second one here too, but we'll give ourselves a break because that one was very long. But that was just a little bit of like all went on that weekend. I just ran around with my GoPro attached to my candy cane and my microphone and just ran around, did all kinds of recording, interacting with guests, doing my usual spiel, but Christmassy about it. But last year was just so different from normal, like Halloween. It was just its own thing. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. But Eddie, besides of just adding 2 extra weekends now, what else is new for this year?
Well, we added in, I think we're adding in 3 attractions. Last year, I think we did 6. So one of them's already under major renovations for next year, next Halloween, so we can't go through there. But yeah, we're adding 2 or 3 attractions, and next year we hope to add 2 or 3 more. And but we're adding a lot of stuff, adding a lot of lights, different decorations, and probably twice the costumes and twice the mask. And so it should be a great event like last year, hoping so. And we gave away probably 5,000 buy one, get one free tickets during Halloween. Every night we were passing them out, trying to get to fill the place up, let everybody know what it's about. I think once they come out and see how different it is, they'd be willing to come out again.
Awesome. So retheming wise, besides just putting up, Christmas decoration and lights everywhere, is there any other like retheming that you're doing to any of the attractions to fit more into the Christmassy story?
Yeah, so the one of the attractions, our old Stranger Things house, it'll be leaving next year. So that is a total Nightmare Before Christmas house. And Ryan's been working in there for like 2 weeks. So every room's redesigned, all the characters from the movies. And I think we're actually going to leave that open during Merry Christmas also. But the mortuary gets a big, huge makeover. And the Texas house obviously gets some, but the mortuary and the old Vecna house will be the 2 biggest new attractions that are looking good this year.
Awesome. So excited to see all of that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play another movie. Just FYI, guys, there is a little bit of profanity in it. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
It must be Jimmy.
I'm just warning for anyone who doesn't know Mr. Jimmy. When he is grungy, he's grungy. It's nothing too terrible, but there might be some people. So viewers, please be advised.
I'm Jingles.
I'm Grungy Claus.
And Merry Krampus.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
What if I see that?
Ladies, is this man harassing you? No, but you are. Let me just get to sit down right here and harass you a little bit more.
Beat the shit out of him.
Why would I do that to a kid?
Because he's
I do not know what's going on with the audio there, so we're just going to tarnish that video. I don't know what's going on with the audio. So she was just super excited that the Chiefs won the game that night. So, all right. So let's go to the comments here. We got, let's see, Ryan told us that it's Oogie Boogie's Revenge is going to be part of the Stranger Things house new rethemed for Krampus. Now that is interesting. I like that. So you're not doing it Disney style, correct? You're actually doing it horror style. All right, so Japes. So let's talk about the Lost Souls.
Let's do that.
So what are like the plans for this year? Anything new that you've done this year that you haven't done in the past?
Yeah, we're really excited. There's quite a few different haunts that are open for, for Christmas around the Chicagoland area. So we do like to mix it up a little bit. And so we're very excited to find out that 5 Points Haunted House is going to be open this year. So we will be visiting 5 Points and Midnight Terror as well. Midnight Terror is one of my favorite Christmas haunts, so I like to get there. I try to bring the tour there every year, to be honest, just because I really love the interactivity of the show. But I'm glad that we were able to kind of switch it up. We love our friends over at Disturbia and Basement of the Dead, but we visited them 4 times this year, so we're excited to be able to showcase the new kids on the block. 5 Points this is only their second October season. They just finished their second October, and they were kind of teasing some stuff about the Christmas show, and I called them up, and they were like, "We weren't planning on it, but I think we are now." So very excited to see their show, and I love their show this season. It's a really great young haunt growing and going to be something really great. So I'm excited to see what they bring for Christmas. It's a really creative crew too. I'm excited to see what kind of characters they come up with.
I know, super excited. What's cool about 5 Points is that started off as a home haunt, correct? I know they won one of the competition. Brick Thunder, yeah, he's I believe either YouTube or TikTok famous, X amount of followers, and then they start doing the home haunt, and now they've upgraded to a pro haunt. That's really awesome. It's great to hear when you go from a home haunt up to a pro. And I've heard a lot of good things, and it'll be my first time ever seeing them in person, so that would be fun. But yeah, Midnight Terror. I mean, Midnight Terror really is the place to be for Christmas up in the Chicago area. I mean, everybody seems to pile up in there. I know a lot of the crew from 13th Floor heads up there. So like Old Juliet, and when 13th Floor is not open, they all pile up in there along with a bunch of the Hell's Gate crew. So yeah, Midnight Terror it's like the big reunion every Christmas.
It is. I mean, walking through that waiting area is just like, it's a clinic of just some of the most talented line actors that you can possibly imagine. So we don't, with our tour, we're VIP, so we get in right away, but I always kind of like, take your time, take your time. Let's enjoy this incredible, entertainment that's going on. And they obviously theme everything out. So it's, there's fake snow and the whole deal in the waiting area. So, but it's always a fun time. And, with our Christmas tour, we typically do focus on the after party as well, because we can't hit 3 haunts. Usually they're not in, logistically, you can't get to 3 Christmas haunts in the same night most of the time. So we focus on our after party. And I decided this year to kind of take it easy. In the past, we've had drag shows and, we had the sideshow and magicians. And then last year we had the Oohs and Ahs, which is like a horror themed band, kind of like the Cramps. They give off some big time Cramps vibes, but they dress all in their monster costumes and everything. But this year we decided we're just going to do a hangout. One thing we're really proud of with Lost Souls is we've got about 80% return. So it's the same people coming year after year after year. And we've built a really strong community. And we're just really looking forward to having a kind of a mellow-ish evening after the haunts, hang out, have some drinks. The Brick Tavern in Chicago Ridge is right down the street from Midnight Terror. They put together a nice spread for us in the past. They've been very accommodating to us in the past. So we're going to hang out, and we are going to do a white elephant. Or a dirty Santa, if you will. So everybody is encouraged to bring a gift of $20, about $20 value, and come with the weirdest stuff you can possibly think of, so we can exchange gifts and just kind of have, like I said, it's kind of, I felt like this year I should say Brewster didn't get to hang out and really talk with everybody as much as he would have liked. So we're going to use the Christmas tour as that opportunity.
Awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun. So now you got to get me thinking on what to bring. Thanks.
Yeah.
I was just going to be bringing stickers and Christmas cards, but now I got to find like a really messed up prize. I know exactly who to call. I'm going to call Jimmy.
Yeah.
And the other like,
yeah. And normally we charge our regular full price for the Christmas tour, but because we're kind of dialing we're dialing it back on the after party and some folks don't have the same kind of spending money, especially around Christmas. So we're actually slashing the price almost in half to just $100. So $100 gets you entertainment from 5:30 until about 1:00 in the morning. So it's going to be a fun time, and it's not going to break the bank.
Yeah. All right. So I got a couple photos from last year. There you are with, oh my God, it's Chris from Transport Live.
Yeah, Chris is a great partner. He helps to help promote our stuff. Plus, he also usually sponsors at least one of the after parties where he hosts the after party. So when we went to Hell's Gate, his team took care of all of the arrangements and made sure we had snacks at all the stops and everything. And Chris is a longtime friend, and honestly, we love working with him. So yeah, he always makes the time to come out and check us out.
I got him so good at Evil Intentions. So it was the weekend before Halloween. I was up there. He had no idea it was me. He's never seen me he's seen me in costume, but at the trade shows, either at the balls or in a competition, he's never seen me in a haunt season. So he had no idea it was me. Wow, everybody else is like, that's probably Chainsaw Sammy, because she's the only one that acts like that. I was running up and acting like a fangirl and shit. I going, oh my God, it's Christopher Transfer Live. I'm not worthy. Like I always do that spiel because he gets so red in the face.
Oh,
yeah.
He's one of the most selfless people that I think I've ever met. So yeah, when you do that, and I'll do that too, as Brewster, of course, like anytime he walks into the room, it's Haunted House Chicago, everybody, and make a big deal about it. And he's like, oh God, I hate when you do that.
Eddie's different. Eddie says, "Thank you, God bless you."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Eddie's like, "Yes, I'm king."
Eddie just soaks it up. Yes, that's right.
Eddie's like, "I'm not embarrassed at all. I know." All right, so here's Brewster on the bus, being Brewster.
Yeah, that was we always do a Facebook Live at the beginning of the night, and this is me getting the crowd all hyped up and get a good background for everybody.
Waiting for the bus driver just to brake check you.
Yeah. I hate when they do that.
I mean, kudos to all the bus drivers tolerating us. Every tour I've ever been on, and this is everything from either haunted houses or vacation tours and stuff like that. I always praise these bus drivers for putting up with people.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't have the mentality to do that. I would have lost it.
It's funny because we've now gotten to a point where the drivers are starting to request us because we do a 50-50. Well, we're entertaining, and like I always invite them to come to the haunts if they want. We'll take care of their tickets and everything. So I always do that. But the other thing is we do our 50-50 raffle at the end of the night, and half goes to the winner and the other half goes to the bus driver. So most of our bus drivers are getting tipped anywhere between $250 and $300 usually.
Yeah.
So now they're every year when we come around, they're like, yeah, like put me on that.
So this is a photo from last year when you guys were at Disturbia?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And that you'll see like there's a couple folks in there from haunts. Most of the people who ride our tour are not haunters. They don't work in haunts. But Brian Kopp is over there on the right from 13th floor. And then Derek from Hell's Gate is over there. And we do give away tickets to to the haunts, any of the haunts that we go through during the regular season. As a thank you to them, we give them free tickets. So, but like I said, most of our riders are not haunters. So it's usually the Christmas tour where you'll see other haunters.
Yeah, because they finally got the time. Haunts, it's like, man, I'm working the haunt. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this one is last year. The one before I think was 2 years ago. But yeah, that was outside of Disturbia. Nick Cerullo from Disturbia, and actually a bunch of the line actors are over there in the corner or on the bottom there.
Yep, I see Derek from Old Juliet right there. I see a couple other faces I recognize.
And that one, that might.
I want to say that's a little bit older because Derek looks like he's got long hair. He doesn't have the long hair anymore.
It is. Yeah. And actually last year, Terry didn't ride with us. Terry was having some stuff going on. So Jason Olson from the Nightmare Forge was my co-host, or my wrangler, if you will.
Yeah. Your handler.
Exactly. Brewster needs a handler.
And we all know who that handler is. That is Mr. Terry right there. There
he is. That's my guy. Yeah, Terry actually is the one that started Lost Souls. And now we co-run it. I do most of the logistical stuff while he handles a lot of the sponsorships and all that. And day of, he's incredible with all the stuff that we pack onto that bus, the Jello shots, the gifts, the candy. We always make sure we've got water for everybody. Terry takes care of all that, and all the day of stuff is handled by him. I just need to show up and have a 6-pack.
I think that's your Christmas photo right there, guys. Like, look
that's
at that. Oh,
look at that. It's funny because we wanted it. I wanted a real good picture of Terry and I, and like something that we could use for like a Christmas card, and that was the point of this one. And this was Emily. So we typically we're not doing it this year, but we typically try to bring in different photographers as well to kind of document the night. We do a horrible job of documenting our regular season, so I always try to bring somebody in to do the Christmas tour. So Emily Fusion from also from the Nightmare Forge and Blood Moon Paranormal did all of our photography 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago.
Awesome.
She got some really cool pictures.
So who is your photographer for this year? Are you bringing Alex back?
You know, I haven't asked him. Yeah, no, I haven't asked him yet. He's done all of our promo marketing stuff that we're going to be, we'll start pushing out soon. But I haven't talked to him about doing photography. So Alex, if you're watching, I think this is a formal proposal right here.
Slacker. Come on, Japes, you're on the timeline, sir.
Yeah, I know. It's the heavy stuff is done. The bus is booked. The tickets are bought. Like, we've got all that stuff in that's already taken care of. But the actual day of stuff, I would love to tell you it was done and we're ready to go. We could run tomorrow. That it would be not a good thing. So,
and we do have an announcement at 8:00 on here tonight. So please stay tuned on, because we do have an announcement at 8:00 for Lost Souls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So back to Krampus Christmas. So Eddie, that's just a couple days away, sir. The countdown has truly begun. Or the crunch.
We're open Friday. Open Friday. That came fast.
So Eddie, last year you really weren't Bone Daddy. Are you going to try to bring Bone Daddy out for Krampus this year?
Probably not. I got a surgery on my shoulder, and that thing is not. That thing is sore. So no carrying the snake for Christmas this year.
It might be. I mean, is it cold up there now for you guys? It's been fluctuating here in the Midwest.
It's probably about 45, so it ain't too bad. But I need to think me up a new character for Christmas for Krampus.
Any ideas? Any ideas?
I hadn't even pondered that, so you can help me.
That I can.
I'll tell everybody you helped me with that. So
last year was great. You wore so I didn't even know it was you for a while until they said Eddie's right over there in the big black pip coat, and I had this second guess. I'm like, oh, there he is.
I had several people call me and say, "Man, I didn't see you tonight," and I was like, "You took a picture with me," and they just didn't know, because I just went out there incognito. But that mask was really hot, so the actors like, I know how y'all feel. Sweat was dripping off my face wearing that thing. But it was fun to take pictures of everybody. They didn't know who I was. But it's honestly too cold for the snake.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I need a rest from putting up the mohawk, man. I get tired of that. Every night, all that makeup.
Yep, all the makeup. Especially now, you do all the airbrush. The airbrush sometimes could be a little bit harder to come off versus the old school grease.
Lord. We're using that EBA, man, and that stuff, man. After a whole weekend, I'm like, my skin's rubbed raw getting that stuff off.
Yeah.
But it's the price you pay.
Exactly. It looks great. It stays on. It does, you could sweat. It doesn't smear. It's just getting it off. And then the aftermath of, yes, your skin's all dry. It's starting to crack. So you're lathering up a lotion. And then my skin's sensitive. So my skin's not happy about that. So I'm usually breaking out, or I got some redness and it looks like I got something wrong with me.
The worst was, I guess you wasn't around that weekend, but I did a from my blue jeans or my black jeans up, John painted my whole body black.
No, I was there for the
painted the ribs on. Oh my Lord, getting all that off. That was a pain in the butt.
I was there for that.
It was like 3 days later, I was still getting all that off.
It was Bone Daddy posting for his OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we haven't posted those yet,
Yeah. I know there was a little short story where it was just this is happening, and Bryce Alexander commented on that, and he's like, "Oh, where do I describe to his OnlyFans?" And then it became a whole spiel online.
Yeah. But I'm not going under an alternate name though. It'll just be the Bone Daddy.
Yep, the Bone Daddy.
I don't know if Peggy would go for that.
Oh, speaking of this, Peggy, how is she doing? How is everybody? I know you're recovering, but how is she doing?
She's doing a lot better. She had she had the surgery on her leg, which caused a blood clot, went to her lungs. So those are cleared up now in her lungs. Her one in her leg's still there, but she's doing a lot better. I think she's going to round the curve, but I think it's still going to be another month or two before she's back to full strength. So, we had an incredible season, and once
We
every
missed
5
her.
years. Yeah, once every 5 years. It doesn't matter who you are in life. You're going to have a rough year, down year, something bad happens. And it was just our year. But, man, we came through it. And couldn't be more blessed.
Yes,
I have an
sir.
incredible wife, incredible team. The team stepped up. And, man, I had like 5 people that stepped up. They ran the show like she wasn't even missing. And, you know, I'm a Jesus man, and he's blessed me beyond so many good staff, and we ran it so smooth. And hey, you know, I told the people God gives big tests to people he's doing big things with. And, you know, next year we got Legendary Haunt Tour coming.
Yes.
And we got some big and great things going on here. So, you know, it's a bump in the road, but we're going to get by it. And man, we've been so blessed. I couldn't complain about anything.
Yes. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, sir.
It's been so
You do.
incredible. I mean, you know, it took me a long time to get where I'm at. It's been 35 years, but man, we got such an incredible staff, and the actors are amazing. And, you know, I hope they all know that I couldn't do it without them. You know, I just have a dream, and they've all helped me make that dream come true. So it's just amazing to see it all come together. And I'm going to tell you, the staff was so incredible this year. Everybody picked up a little bit here and there, and we ran it. And, you know, it's going to be great. Next year, we'll all be back. The best year we've ever had. We'll have Legendary here, and it's going to be a great year. So just a bump in the road, but makes us all stronger.
Yes. Yes. I mean, 2026, Eddie, you definitely have a busy year coming ahead of time. You have another off-season event, then you have Transworld, then you got East Coast, then you got halfway to Halloween, Transworld, Media Night, and then Haunt Season itself, and then right back to Krampus. And then, of course, you got all the other events with just the farm alone. You do all your off-season events. So, I mean, you got a 26, a busy year ahead of you. And congratulations, yes, for the official announcements. The rumors are true about the Legendary Tour. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's going to be, you know, this was a rough year, but next year is going to be our best year ever. And with all the great staff I got, including you and all the other people, it just makes it so easy. You know, it's been tough, but everybody stepped up. And haunters are a different kind of people, man. They such a great niche of people step up, help you, and it's been awesome.
Yes. I am so thankful. I thank God every day for being a part of the team, because Woods of Terror is my home away from home haunt. You guys have accepted me from day one, treated me like I've been there for over 10 years when I'm like, I've been here for 30 seconds. And, you know, that was just now going on 5 years ago. Like, it's crazy how fast time has passed.
Yeah. I seen a picture of you and me at Transworld. It was like 7 years ago.
Yes, back when I first like met you, didn't even make it out to Woods of Terror yet. They were just like, that's Eddie McLaurin. And I was like, that's a tall man. And yeah, I took a picture of you and stuff, and I was like, that's really cool. And then all of a sudden, years later, I get invited out to Woods of Terror, and then the rest is history.
And in 2027, we're on the Lost Souls tour.
Yes.
Wow, that's a hell of a ride from Chicago.
The people would have to load up Monday morning to get there.
Yeah.
It's funny. All the Buc-ee's on the way.
Hey, right. And it's funny because I've considered the idea of doing him out of town, and you know, it's like, I don't know if I want to do any of that. Like that's Troy's thing. Let Troy take his bus all over the country. I like staying kind of hyper local, but yours is, you know, it's funny being I've always been a an actor focused person, and your show comes up all the time. Like, I hear people talk all the time, and people who have guest acted down there. And I know you've always just had you've got a very strong reputation in this business for really respecting and growing actors. And that to me, you know, that growing piece especially is so important. I know how much you put into actor training in the off season and everything. So, you know, there are owners, and then there are really actor focused owners, and you are one that is always listed in the tops and whenever I'm talking with people. So I know the great stuff you're doing down there.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, Woods of Terror is one of the most actor-driven haunts I've ever been to. I mean, Woods of Terror has a little bit of everything from the crazy big animatronics to all the special effects. Eddie's always keeping up with the times. Projection mapping, it's starting to explode everywhere. Eddie's been really pushing a lot of that. But actors always are the number one out there, and I just absolutely love that. Yes, Ben. So reading in the comments here. So Ben is actually from Australia. And yes, you need to fly out to Woods of Terror, sir. I've told you, you need to come out to see Woods of Terror. You need to come on to Terror Tours. You need to come up to Chicago area. But most of all, you definitely need to come over to Transworld because you need to come and meet all the legends because that's where we all come together is Transworld here in the gateway city of St. Louis. So, yes, sir. Woods of Terror is definitely on your list when you come here to the United States to check out haunted houses. Woods of Terror should be your number one on the list. So I got Kevin over here telling us Krampus Daddy. So that might be Eddie. Got Doug making a shout out. I got Dark Acres in the comment section also saying they are looking most definitely to see you on the Legendary Tour for next year.
Some of those pictures that you were showing earlier, Chainsaw, were taken by Kevin Bigsacki's wife. She was our photographer one year. So there's you'll see the tag pictures by or images by Scary Girl. Those were the ones that she did.
Yes, I did see that after I exited out. I was like, I know who took those photos.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't see the logo from that end. I only saw the Lost Souls logo because it's bright and green. It's right there. And then I looked over and I saw that and I was like, oh, now I know who took those photos.
Yep. Yeah, Bonnie did a great job of capturing that tour that year.
Yes. We love Bonnie. Not so much Kevin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right. So Eddie, also with the Midway, anything new that you're adding to the Midway for Krampus Christmas this year that you did not do last year? So like anything new theming wise or anything to advertise?
Well, mainly what we done was, we added like the Nutty Pavilion building, and we added a couple of new things in the Midway. Those will all be there. We did them for Halloween and Krampus. But Ryan's got a couple little new things he's going to be decorating with, the photo ops and stuff like that. And the new Dead City stage is where I guess, I don't know if they're putting Grungy on that. I think that's where they're putting Grungy Claus.
Oh, no.
So he have his own stage.
So we're gonna have to let Brandon and the team know that grungy ruined your stage, guys.
Yeah. We'll have to disinfect.
Yeah, he made it grungy. It's all sticky now.
I think they got old couch up there right now. I've been out of town for a week at IAPA, so they've been plowing through it. So thank goodness I can come home. I got a break and go down there tomorrow, and most of it will be done. So. But we got a couple new things here and there throughout the woods. And with the added attractions, it should be a pretty different show. And then for the first time ever, we're going to be doing Valentine's.
Yes.
So, and everybody that year gets to go down the new slide. Did you go down the slide?
I did not. I ran out of time. I think at one point I was supposed to go with Scorn, and then time just got away from us. Season, it's come and go. What was great about media night was a little bit where there were times I was following Peggy around asking, do you need me to help with anything? I'm like, this isn't like season. Like everybody's running around doing something. I'm kind of just standing here with my camera. Like, can I do anything? Why wait? I don't want to be useless here. So I was helping Callie out with like cleaning makeup brushes and restocking stuff. And then I was helping Courtney out with costumes and stuff. So any new characters that you added to Krampus this year? So like any new costumes? I know last year you bought a ton. You got some from Tracy. You got some from Courtney. Anything new that you bought this year?
Yeah, I think we've got about 20 new masks and about 20 new costumes. So I think we're going to run right at 80 people, half mask and half makeup. So, and we tried to get the costumes a little bit warmer because it is going to be a little colder, but I've already got the Christmas trailer full, man. I'm already not big enough. So,
well, time for another trailer.
Hopefully we're getting a makeup and costume building next year. That's what I'm asking Santa Claus for.
Yes. So speaking, let's backtrack. Now at IAPA, anything new at IAPA that you've seen this year that you want to bring out to Woods of Terror?
That's kind of a different show. There's very little to do with Woods of Terror. It's more about me getting out of town and having a little bit of downtime, but definitely went through the floor, and we got some some big stuff coming back. Jimmy drove it home. So new attraction coming in for Woods of Terror next year. 2 major new attractions, but we're not going to talk about all that right now. But there's little stuff here and there that I picked up at IAP I think will help us a little. But of course, getting all the major stuff at Trans World. It was great to see all the guys at the Trans World party and catch up. Talk about if I can get in touch with them now, can I pick up the stuff at Trans World? And so that's probably more of a networking show than it is a purchasing show.
I was just about to say, Woods of Terror needs a roller coaster. Maybe a big Ferris wheel too.
But we went to Epic, and got the ride Unchained. I rode it 3 times this time. I think I rode it 15 times now. That's an incredible ride. Yes,
Epic is epic. Japes, have you been to Epic Universe yet?
I have not. No, I've only recently heard about it. I don't make it out to any of the big parks or anything like that. We've got 2 little ones, and a trip like that is expensive. So I try not to even look at what I can't have. But it's been popping up more and more about just how incredible that ride is.
My buddy's got season passes. He lives there in Florida, so he's got season passes to everything. And I also use my media passes to get into a lot of these parks, so I kind of cheat. But Epic lives up to its name, Epic. If you ever want to make the chance, it is definitely worth it. I even say that about Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. It is worth going at least once. It is worth every penny.
Yeah, no, it's been popping up a lot, and people are saying it's absolutely amazing.
It is like a haunter's wet dream. Let's put it that way.
That sounds like something Grungy would say.
Yeah, I got that. I see him sitting on the ride too right now, just going, I like a wet dream.
Yeah.
Oh, we love Jimmy. I got Kevin Crawford coming in here saying that Kim and him will definitely do a North Carolina Lost Souls tour. So, Japes, looks like the tour is going to have to branch out, man.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with Kevin and Kim is that it doesn't matter where we go, they'll go with us. So I always have to remember that's only 2 tickets. That's not going to pay the bills. But something tells me at some point we're gonna have to do a road trip together, whether it's through Lost Souls or not. But Kevin and Kimmy ride every one of our tours, and they also go to haunts on all the off nights that we don't. And I think they saw 19 haunts last year. So they're not reviewers; they're just enthusiasts.
They're haunt goers. They love haunted houses.
Yep,
they love
absolutely.
Halloween. That's what my mom is. She's not a haunt reviewer. She's not really a haunter, but she's the one that dragged me through haunted houses when I was a little kid, even though I didn't want to go in there. Because I'm like, those are real people. This isn't like a horror movie, Mom. Those are real people. I don't know what their intentions are. And it's her fault that I'm into haunted houses. So now I drag her around to see haunted attractions all over. Like, we've been to New Orleans. We've been all over Chicago. We've been all over the place. And now we're hopefully get to Salem this next year. We had to cancel this year due to some issues going on. But now hopefully we get to do it this coming year. Take her up to Salem.
Nice.
Justin here. And yes, this is your Justin. This is your Justin, Eddie. He says he's got 2 requests for Christmas. Woods of Terror needs more white t-shirts. and says that, yeah, Tyler says that Woods of Terror is getting a roller coaster. So
We did the first, well, it was a cream colored, but we did do one white one this year. Kind of outside the box, but not for Krampus. So
that's why all my shirts are orange, because all the haunts do black shirts. So I was like, all right, I want something that stands out. Plus, people get a kick out of it if they're wearing their Lost Soul shirt in the haunt. It is UV reactive, so you go through a room with a black light, you just
roll like a light bulb. Nice and bright. All right, so yes, Sarah, yes, Halloween Horror Nights, yes, definitely needs to be on your bucket list.
Yeah, and Sarah will go out to North Carolina with us too.
That's what she says, that she'll definitely come out to North Carolina Lost Souls.
Yeah, so Skara used to work for me at Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare back in the day.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then she started riding. She was haunting after that, and then she stopped haunting for a while, and she was riding our tour. And some of the folks from Midnight Terror who had worked with us she started talking with them again, and she's back to haunt acting again. So I was very excited to be able to work with her again. This year I was at Midnight Terror and got to see Sarah in action, and she's a wonderful person she can make some noises. And she can sing like you wouldn't believe. She doesn't do that in the haunt, but that one day we were at a Realm of Terror, and they had karaoke, and she just like disappeared all of a sudden. And I was like, who was singing in the other room? And it was Sarah. I was like, God, wow, I didn't know you could sing like that.
I cannot sing. No. I got the voice for radio, and that's it. That's all I've been told. You have the voice for radio, but you do not have a singing voice. I'm like, I'm good with that. I don't need to sing. I can sing in my own shower and be fine with myself. I don't need to sing in front of people. I'm good with that.
It's better than me. Everybody says I've got a face for radio, so.
And then Universal Horror is also coming to Chicago.
Yeah, they announced that last year. So it's supposed to come in 26. I haven't heard any details about it yet. Just there was an announcement. But yeah, they're supposed to have a year-round attraction in Chicago, similar to, I think they have one in Vegas now.
Yes, I know about the one in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're supposed to be opening one in 26 or 27.
So
would you know the location of that?
Supposedly somewhere downtown. If I had to guess, Goose Island has been blowing up over the past couple of years. There's the Salt Shed is over there, which is like a big music venue. They've added a casino. That whole area is blowing up. So I would wager to say that that's where it's going to be. But all I know is they announced that it's coming, and that was the end of it. That it was a one big announcement. Yes, Universal is coming to Chicago, and that is all I've heard about it. So yeah, we're definitely interested to see what that's gonna bring. I
have heard the mixed reviews on it, and I could tell you're kind of on it too, where you hear, can it be a good thing or could it be a bad thing? Mm-hmm. Chicago, yes, in their mind, I see them seeing Chicago as the prime area because there's so many haunts just in one small collided area. But a lot of those haunts have been there for a long time, and then there's quite a few new ones. But Universal is not the same as regular haunted houses. Haunted houses are individually owned, or if you have like 13th Floor, which is a corporate, but they're just not Universal size corporate. So it is you have the mixture of the politics, which I don't want to get too far into, but you have the mixture of the politics and then the general public, and then the mixing of that of like, how is Universal going to fit in with the Chicago horror scene?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The big impacts that I'm wondering about is going to be, number one, obviously, if they're going to open obviously in October, right? They're not going to, even though it's year round, they're not going to do it in the middle of June. So that's gonna be a vacuum, because we've seen that here. Anytime a big name haunt opens, there's a vacuum and everybody has to check it out. It levels out over time. That was what happened. 13th Floor and Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare both came into Chicago at the same time.
Yeah.
And a lot of the smaller haunts felt the pinch that year because everybody was going to these two big haunts. But then it mellowed out, and now it's kind of evened out. Everybody's got their audience, and it seems to work. But then the other piece is the talent vacuum, right? Like, there's a lot of really talented people working for a lot of different haunts. And if Universal wants to bring in people that really know what they're doing, we've got them. And that's my concern for the haunts, is, are we going to see a dip in quality of the attractions that are here because all the stars are going to get pulled to someplace where they can get paid more? There are not many haunts in the Chicagoland area that have Universal money. So we've got some big haunts, but Universal money is a whole other level of money.
It's that ching.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about it after that initial announcement that it is coming. Like I said, I had heard 26, but I've also heard 27 as well. So we'll see.
So if it does come to be, if the rumors are true, they break ground, they build and stuff, would you, in the next couple of years, put it on Lost Souls?
I mean, if they're willing to work with me, I can't see them wanting to. I can't see them wanting to work with me in terms of pricing, and it would have to be probably, that might be where we do our premium tour. And I've considered that. Like, I know Terror Tours, Troy gets the big fancy bus and everything. We use regular school buses, right? So that might be the tour where I'm like, all right, everybody, it's going to be real. It's going to be like $500, and it's going to be like $500, and we're going to take you to Universal. But don't worry, there's a bathroom on the bus. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it depends on if they're willing to work with me in terms of pricing and all that. But I'm definitely not going to shy away from them. I'll say that. Yeah.
I just always am just curious, because I know there's so much controversy when it comes to Universal, and then when it comes to just regular haunted attractions, because I know because they look as Universal's the big guy, and then you got haunt houses, which are the little guys. But I'm like, haunted attractions, individual haunted attractions, are privately owned. They're smaller. Most of them are either open for just the season, or they do a few off-season events. While Universal might just have their big premiere seasonal event, but then they have all the other stuff that goes on all year round. Because I don't even think the parks close. I think they might close on Christmas, but I don't even think then. I think they're open 365 days a year.
Yeah, they did. The announcement said that it was going to be a year-round attraction, or a year-round. Yeah, exactly. It'll be a year-round thing. So that's part of where I feel like that first year, everybody's going to want to go check out this, check it out. And that can pull away from some of the smaller haunts for sure. But then you can go whenever you want. So I don't think it's going to have that same draw that following October. They're going to see bigger numbers in October. Like we know that, but it's not like, it's not like people are going to be flying in just for October. The people that want to come in and see it from further out, they're going to come in during the off season if they're smart. Like, why would you not? I don't want to go during the peak season when I have to wait in line for 7 hours to get through everything. I would rather come in June or whatever and be like, yeah, I like Halloween all year round. So here we go.
I like it because it's where I can get my Halloween fix.
Yeah, anytime. That's what I love. When we've gone to like Virginia Beach, and we've gone to other those touristy towns, and that's when I go up to Wisconsin Dells. I'm like, yeah, give me these year-round haunts. I know what they are.
Yes.
They're definitely not what I'm used to for haunted attractions, but I put it right in my vein. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where you can go and get your Halloween fix. This is also another opportunity for haunters that got to work all Halloween season. Now they get to come up there. Obviously, it's going to be for all the tourists, so it's going to be pleasing them, the locals, and everything else. So Vegas, I thought, was really the best idea for when they first were talking about it. And I think this was right before they announced where the location was. And Vegas was like one of my top 2 that I said, I'm like, probably would do very well in Vegas because that's a tourist city. And people are always looking for new entertainment, new things. A lot of big conventions are held there. So people are looking for, entertainment when the convention is over with to do. And Vegas is, I mean, yes, the main thing when you go to Vegas is to gamble and drink, but it has become a family town, especially back in the early 2000s. So you have people bringing their kids, or they're a little bit older kids, but they're not old enough to drink and gamble, obviously. Or you got one family member is there for the gambling, what Vegas is about. Then you got the rest of them. They're like, well, we don't want to do that. We want to do other stuff. We want to see shows. We want to go shopping. We want to go to the aquarium and check out the museums, all the other things. So that was a good idea to move it out there because it's another form of entertainment out there. And then, of course, they really weren't as big with Halloween anymore as they used to be. And I'm talking about Fright Dome back when it was around, that was one of the top, haunted houses in the industry at the time. And then that shut down at Circus years ago. Well, now they brought it back, but it's going to take some time to get back to what it used to be. So that's great that you have another Halloween attraction, especially it's all year round as well. And it brings all the classics of Universal. So it brought in all their old school icons. It's bringing in the movies and stuff like that. So it definitely separates itself from Halloween Horror Nights that's during the annual season. Is from what I see in the videos. Again, I have not physically been there, so I can't say too much, only from what I've seen in videos and photos and from what I've read from other people who have seen it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I'm with you in that I'm excited for something Halloween that can be open all year round. I hope it's successful. We've seen other Halloween or horror themed things come through Chicago that didn't last. But again, they didn't have Universal money behind them either. So it was, I have no problem with there being a cool haunted attraction that's open all year round,
What I do like with Universal being a goer for Halloween Horror Nights since 2014 is they listen to their customers. They listen to their fan base. They're people who they have in charge, and not just the individuals who are physically there at the parks. Their corporate offices do listen to the fans. They really do. And I know people are like, oh, she's getting paid by Universal. No, I'm not getting paid by Universal saying this. This is my own personal opinion and experience. They really do listen to their fans. They listen to the critics. And every year they do the best to please. Now, yes, Universal does get more expensive every year. But hey, they got to make their money and everything is costing more. That's the economy. I can show people the ways of how to do Universal on a budget because I was going to Universal when I was a broke college student. I had no money. I had to do it the broke way. So you do not have to go and spend $400 at Universal, people. There are cheaper ways to do it. And if you want to know how I'm able to do it on a very tight budget, just hit me up and I can tell you, hey, this is how you do it on a tight budget.
Kevin is Kevin Crawford, who was, like I said, he comes to all of our haunts. He did text me, and it looks like it's going to be at 700 West Chicago Avenue, which I would have to check. And it's opening in 2027. So I would have to check exactly what neighborhood that is. But Kevin's doing our fact checking for us. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm making sure the show's operating, so I'm not going online looking all this stuff up, even though I can now. The way I have my new setup, I can do that. I'm too busy talking. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and, completely ignore you while I go and I fact check stuff. I'm just not going to. I'll leave that for our listeners to do that. So, Kevin, thank you so much for fact checking that. So it's not on Goose Island, because that sounds like more of a neighborhood, or at least right by a neighborhood. You're going to look it up for me.
I'm looking it up. I can't. Oh, wow. Is that right?
Uh-oh.
700 West. That is, it is. It's right off of Goose Island. That is
Okay.
right off of Goose Island. So yeah, that would be the area that would make sense.
You called it. You called it.
Yeah. I had a client that I worked for owned a building over there, and they had a map of the area with all of the new stuff that's popped up, and I was like, good God, I didn't realize it was being developed that much. So yeah, it's that makes sense.
Eddie, welcome back.
All right. I see.
All right.
You kicked me out.
Did I?
No, I was just messing with you. But
I was like, oh my God.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna bow out anyway, guys. I appreciate it. Good talking to you, Japes.
Good to see you, Eddie.
Y'all could go on an hour about this tour. I know those are awesome, great times.
Yes.
I've been on plenty of haunt tours, but Lord, I just drive now. The bus days are over.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you, Eddie. My bus days are slowly going.
Well, all right, guys. Y'all have a good show, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Eddie.
Thanks, Eddie. Have a great Krampus.
All right, thank you, man.
So I'm seeing it's 8:00. That means
yes, I was about to tell you. I'm like, oh, do I want to interrupt him and say it's time?
Yeah, 8:00. That means if you're on the mailing list, which means anybody who's a VIP. So the way we do things with Lost Souls is once you've ridden with us once, you're on our VIP list, so you always get earlier access to tickets. And then we also don't try to open the tickets up to the public if we can avoid it, because again, we've kind of built a community, and we want to keep that where we're getting more referrals from friends, people kind of bringing their friends, and that's not because we try to keep people out. It's not a gatekeeping thing. It is more a matter of we're on a bus and we are all drinking, and it's nice to know that we've got everybody kind of checked. Everybody's gotten their own background check from their friends, so that we don't have to worry about people getting too nuts on the bus. So that's more what it is that we want to kind of build the community with people that we know and trust. But we do have our mailing list, and anybody that's signed up on the mailing list prior to today, you just received an email at 8:00. That is your pass to get your tickets. So tickets are on sale as of right now to get on Lost Souls Christmas, which will be December 13th, picking up from the Brick Tavern in Chicago Ridge. Those tickets are on sale for only $100, so 45% off. I'm just going to say half off, but that's kind of lying. But it's a great discount. Again, 2 awesome haunts and a great after party. Food is taken care of. It will be a cash bar at Brick Tavern, but all of the food will be covered. You don't have to worry about that. They always put together a nice spread for us. Hopefully Pat doesn't drop chili on the floor again.
I'll drop the chili this time.
Yeah. But yeah, you check your spam. I know our mails, I got it. Oh, good. You got yours. Good. We're a one-person shop, and we kind of require, we try to do everything as clean as possible, but we know MailChimp sometimes gets caught by spam. But that's our mass mailer. Sorry, that's what we got. But yeah, check your spam if you didn't see it, but you got an email from Brewster inviting you to the Lost Souls tour. If you did not get on our mailing list prior to this, get on it now. Go to our website and get on the mailing list, and we will do another blast, assuming the tickets don't sell out too fast. Yeah, we're excited. I'm pumped. I'm very excited for another Christmas tour. And again, I'm kind of excited about not having to do all the logistics of bringing in the additional acts that we have in the past. But it's something we'll definitely bring back again in the future. We love bringing in different unique acts. And this year we just kind of decided, let's take it easy. Let's all hang out. We'll do the White Elephant or Dirty Santa, however you like to call it. Bring your $20 gift, wrap it up, and we will see who's got the weirdest stuff.
It's about to get strange.
Yeah. I should tell Terry he doesn't get to play because whatever Terry will pull out is going to be totally inappropriate.
Oh, good old Terry. That's why he gets called "Damn it, Terry."
Damn it, Terry.
We're so used to saying "Damn it, Troy" because that's Troy's thing. It's always "Damn it, Troy," and then we started saying either "Damn it, Kevin" or "Kevin," or Bill will throw another eyeball at you. Like,
yeah, when I started, it's funny when I started seeing the "Damn it, Troy" things, I was like, oh man, they do that too. Oh hell.
So now we need to do it where it's just "Damn it," and then you just say it will just be Troy and Terry both looking at you, going, "Which one?"
Yeah. No, Tater's there. Tater's watching.
Oh no, here comes Tater.
Yeah.
I'm a sponsor, not a gift, so I'm out. If someone on here wants to go kidnap Tater at his house, wrap him up in a Christmas present, he can be the $20 giveaway.
Yeah. People might get mad though because they want something that's worth $20.
Or something they don't have to feed later. No, we're just kidding. We love you. And yes, Tater's watching from my basement. So the story behind that, you're going to like this story. So I had a guy commented, it was something that I commented with Tater. And because I've known Tater for years, we give each other hard shit. And I guess this guy didn't know that. So he goes off on me, but then I have tons of other people go off on him. Like, dude, she's being sarcastic. Her and Tater are like friends. Like they do this shit all the time. Like, but this guy goes off on me and says, hey, Sam, you need to get out of your mom's basement, blah, blah. So now Tater says, well, I'm locked up in Sammy's basement. So so that's the spiel now is he's like, I'm broadcasting from Sammy's basement. Sammy's a horrible person. She doesn't feed or give me water, doesn't check on me. It's freaking cold down here. There's a leak in the corner.
Tater, you're 100% right. I would absolutely shit my pants if you showed up. I mean, and you know you're more than welcome. I would love to have you. I'd love to have you come up.
Tater, you ain't got nothing going on. Come on up and chill with us.
Right? Yeah, that's one of the ideas I've kicked around too is doing like an overnight tour too, where we, just like everybody gets a hotel and get a block of get a block of rooms and whatever, and everybody can stay, and then maybe the next day we do like a lights on tour. Not necessarily, I know Troy will do, because you guys are traveling so much, it'll be multi-day, tours. I don't know about all that, but I could see a brunch at a haunt the next day.
I like that idea. We need to definitely plan that. Do it. Plan it, Japes. Plan it. Get Terry and plan it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm excited to see. I'm very excited to see what our friends over at 5 Points put together. They're such a nice crew. I spent a lot of time there after the tour this year and just kind of talked with them, and everybody there is just really nice. And it's family run, but all of the McCabe's run the show, and then they've got some managers and some younger folks. Everybody's younger than me, but
you're not that old. Come on.
Oh, sure, that's fine. But yeah, they're really nice people, And then of course, I spent the whole season with Midnight Terror as a house manager this year, so I definitely know the whole crew, and I know they put on a great show. So I'm very excited to show everybody that and just hang out. Really, just get together and hang out. And I'm thinking Japes might actually show up. I don't know if Japes has ever made it to a tour because Brewster's usually there, but I think Japes might show up to the after party. So
Brewster's going to be worn out and says, all right, man, tag team, it's your turn. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, exactly. He gets tired of being on all the time. I've had to explain that to people. I'm like, y'all, you don't understand. Like from 5:30 to like 1:30 in the morning, you're entertaining the same group of 42 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hear you complaining about the line and, oh, there's not that many people, so I'm going to go sit in the break room. Get out there. Brewster can do it for 6 hours. Come on, let's go.
I know. Some people, it's just not for the faint of heart. Haunting isn't for the faint of heart. It is hard. The newer generation has no idea what, my generation and before me went through. They talk about, oh man, Hell Weekend. We used to have Hell Week, and then we had Hell Month. We had the entire month of October for back when I first started.
Wow.
It was every single day. We were open for the entire every day in October. Remember those days? Working the haunt every single night in October for 31 days. Plus, we were open for weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to school full time, and I still worked another job on top of that.
Yeah,
I don't know how I survived.
I have never been involved in construction. I've got 2 left thumbs. I don't, or whatever the expression is. I don't build stuff. They build it and then like let me bring it to life. That's what I'll do. But that's the thing that blows me away, is to think like the crew is sitting there working and building and doing all the behind the scenes stuff to prep from, July, August, September. And then they go right into having to act. Like, that's a lot. That is a lot. That is not something I've ever taken on. But I respect the heck out of people who are able to do that. But I can tell you, definitely at my age, there's no way. I kept telling Justin from Midnight Terror, I'm like, look, I'm going to work every night except for the nights that I have lost souls. I think. I think I'm going to. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. And I was able to do it, but I wasn't. I'm not going to lie. I was not acting every night. I was only in costume a couple nights. I was just focusing on the management piece of it. But any of those nights after Lost Souls, and then I have to roll into Midnight Terror the next night, I'm just like, oh God.
So let's get a little bit more on the personal level with you, since this is the first time you've ever been on. So what got you started in the haunt industry, and how long have you been doing it?
25 years now. I think ish, right? I think I started in 2001. And I did take COVID off, so I did not do any haunting in 2020. But altogether, yeah, close to 25 years. I found hauntedillinois.com back in probably 2000. I think that was the first year they had started. And I was a horror nerd, so I was like, oh man, this is cool. Look at, there's all these haunted houses. And the funny thing is there's these little pieces throughout my history that kind of like line up with, of course I'm running a bus tour now. But what I did was I went through and I put together an itinerary. So every night I had like, these are the haunts that we're going to go to. And, I printed it all out. It was like this, 10-page book of all the places we were going to go visit. And I just literally handed it out to my friends. I'm like, here you go, guys. We're all booked for the rest of the month. And we went and checked out most of the haunts. And then the next year I went to do it again. And I was like, well, why don't I just go? I mean, why don't I just go get paid? Why don't I just go get a job at one of these places? Which is then my, the year that I learned about the illusion of money in the haunt industry.
You learned it real quick.
Oh, really fast. And so I actually, it's funny. I emailed the guys at Dream Reapers. So I kind of took the haunts that I liked the most, and those were the ones that I approached first. And so I reached out to Dream Reapers, and they told me, yeah, come on down. We'll be down on Saturday. Just, come to the door and we'll let you in and we can, show you around and everything. And I showed up and they weren't there. So I called my friend, because you couldn't check your email on your phone in 2001. We did have cell phones, so I was able to do that. I called my buddy and I'm like, hey, can you log onto the computer and, check my email really quick and see if I got any other emails from any other places. And I had gotten an email from 11th Hour. So I shot down there when they were in It was down on LaGrange Road. I can't think of where it was, but it was in a movie theater. And they were there. And that was how I started. I helped out with getting some of the last minute stuff prepped. It was one of the few times I've ever done construction, quote unquote. And then, my first role was there was a spot where there was a fire exit, and they put me in front of the fire exit. And they said, don't let anybody go through this fire exit. And that was all the direction I had. I threw on some shoulder pads and a cloak, and I tried to stare at everybody as they walk by. And I'm 5'8", about 180 pounds, not an intimidating physical presence. And the football guys would walk by and like, pound my shoulders, nice shoulder pads, dude. And I was like, well, this isn't working at all. So started tweaking the act, and just kind of, I was like, well, you've got a lot of energy, and you talk a lot. So just start rambling, and just kind of went to that. And it fell into a hillbilly, a Southern accent, as we usually do. There's like 2 haunt accents that everybody just goes to one of the two, but they're all derivative of Beetlejuice. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yes.
And then, so because I had that accent, that the following week I went out and bought some overalls, and Brewster was born, and that was it. And, I mean, it's funny, as long as I've been doing this, I'm the same character. I've been the same character the whole time. I've played with a couple different things on the side, but it's like, this is the thing that I do, and this is what I enjoy doing. And now I'm excited that I've been able to like build a brand around Brewster. So that's how that worked. I just fell into it, and it really clicked for me. And then the next year they asked me to be the actor manager, and I started. We had trainings by Joe Jensen and Jeff Glatzer, and I did a job for 11th Hour out in Arizona, and we brought Jeff Glatzer out there. So I had an opportunity to get to know Jeff better. I had read a ton of stuff. I've read Scared Stiff and everything, but I got to actually work with him. And I kind of looked at the trainings that Joe and Jeff did, and I said, these are too smart. Like, these kids don't care about this. They just want to jump out and say boo. Nerds like me, like Joe Jensen does this thing where you build this like energy ball and bring it in and then push it out. And like all this metaphysical, like craziness that like most of the kids are like, this is weird. I don't want to do this. I love that stuff. But I tried to take Jeff and Joe's trainings and really kind of make it more accessible, make it more simplified. So then I started doing training, and I've been managing and training actors since like 2002, 2003. So yeah, that's how the road has been. I bounced from 11th Hour to Dream Reapers to Asylum Experiment to Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare. And then in between all of those, I would guest act at different places. I was probably one of the first people, certainly in the Chicagoland area, to start picking up those ideas from Jeff Glatzer, Jeff Beck, the Scab Five, and started doing, guest acting. Because at that time it was very tribal. It was very like, no, you work here, and that is where you work, and that is it. And I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, we're not open tonight, so I'm going to go over to the Lombard JCs and work there tonight. So that's kind of, I guess that's how I got where I am.
So it sounds like you're missing out on build. You need to start now.
Yeah. Barbie knows how incompetent I am.
Hey, build is actually fun. I started doing that not long after I became an actor. I started doing the behind the scenes stuff, and then I was doing a lot of that. And that's how I worked myself up in management over the years. And I do miss it. I do miss doing a lot of the behind the scenes builds. That's why when I do go out to Woods of Terror, I get there as early as the build crew does. And I'm like, hey, you guys need help with anything. I got a drill. Let's go. Let's do it. I'll grab a paintbrush. Let's do it. And a lot of them didn't know. They're like, oh, you have a background doing all this? I'm like, yep. I worked for one of the #1 haunts in the country and did all this. I said, I didn't advertise it because it was my part-time thing. I still worked other jobs and everything else to make the ends meet, but I do miss it from time to time. Now, I just travel and do my own spiel, but I do miss doing build.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I never got into it. I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm a handyman. I'm not necessarily great with building stuff. But like I said, once it's up and running, like, okay, let's figure it. I love the puzzle of, okay, how do we make this work most effectively?
Yeah.
I definitely have gotten better at least understanding and being able to describe room design when I'm talking with owners and stuff, and like, you can't just make it a rectangle, man. Like, we can't do anything in that rectangle. There's nowhere to hide in that rectangle. Yeah. So I've gotten better about at least expressing that, but when it comes to actually making it happen, I leave that to the other folks, like Barbie Hood, who definitely gets her hands dirty.
Yes. Everyone has a part to play within the haunt industry. That's why it's great, because there's so many different opportunities, so many different departments, so many different skill levels all come together to make it what it is. Mm-hmm. When you go to these shows, when you go to haunted houses, even when you do these tours. So even meeting, like Kevin and them, where they're just haunt enthusiasts, a lot of the people on your tour, a lot of them are not haunters. They're just people that love to go and see haunted houses. Mm-hmm. They learn so much, and they have no idea, like, it takes a village to run this. Yeah. It is not just the owners. They need a crew for this. They need people for this. Now, there are people that are jack of all trades that have multiple different talents that can do different jobs within different departments, but it still takes people that do this. This is the build crew. This is the tech crew. So you have the build crew that does all the carpentry, all the big stuff. And then this is the person that does all your wiring and all the little things, all the little special effects. And then you got someone that, does all the makeup stuff. Then you got someone who builds the costumes. Then you got someone who trains the actors. Then you got the actors themselves. Then you got all different forms of management to take charge of those teams. It takes a village to operate a haunted attraction. And then let's get into security, parking lot, merch, concession stand. Yep. Etc. Human resources.
It's so funny because I feel like I've worked for places where everybody was very much like, okay, you have to be an actor. That's kind of the role. And like, there have been people that I look at and I'm like, as an actor, it's not working, but they love being a part of this. And I don't want to get rid of them because they are a good member of the community and of the team. And so I like to, be able to say, hey, what if we moved you over here? What if we had you helping in the ticket booth or something like that? So
Teeter's in the comments. I'm so sorry, James. Teeter's
I know. I know. Hey, look, I don't understand why she dressed up for me either. Like, that's
He's just mad because the one time we FaceTime, I didn't have any makeup on whatsoever. And all I did was put on lip stainer. I don't got any other makeup on. I just put on lip stainer. I actually don't wear conceal makeup because I break out real easily. So I don't wear foundation. If I do, it's extremely rare. And that's because we're doing like school photos, man. And then I have to immediately take that stuff off.
No, Tater, before you even write the question, we are not going to the haunt in Princeton.
We are not going to Devil's Mistake, man. Stop. No, we're not going to the roughest attraction. Oh my God. Tater, where were you last night for haunt chat? Okay. We got to tell some other people about, that whole spiel and stuff like that. Ooh, was that some juicy haunt drama? I'm not going to get too far into that, but wow, that was
nuts. That was nuts. That was like as soon as the first promos started coming out, I was like, red flags.
Like, okay, AI, yes, does have a purpose, but it was overdone. When you overly use AI for everything, it's like, yeah, that is the automatic red flag for me.
I'll be honest and say, like, I use it now for a lot of our, like our email blasts and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just so much easier. I can put in the details and it writes something for me, but I'm not trying to use it for anything like really creative. I'm not doing any kind of story light writing. I use it also like every night. As I left Midnight Terror, I drove home and I talked to Chat GPT and put in all my show notes. And I was able to then, later in the season go, how many times have I said this about this person? And it can go through the notes and it can do that. So for those tactical things, for those types of items, I think it's great. But if you're using AI to communicate everything about your haunt, that means you don't actually know how to talk about it, or you're hiding something. It's one of the two. So yeah. But yeah, no, that was a train wreck. And I know Tater and I spent a lot of time talking about it when we were at the Haunters Against Hate event.
Yep. Well, I remember because Tater was there. Let's see, Tater, Jen. I think you might have been at that table too, because Jen and Rich were there as well. And we just had Kevin's video, his walkthrough video, and we were watching it on Haunt Chat. And then we wound up getting Tater in on it, and he's like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Just watch it. Just watch it and let us know when you're done." He calls back and he's like, "The hell did I just see?"
Yeah. Yeah, no, I talked to the folks from Scare Factor after they went. They were like, we don't
know
what to do here. So yeah, glad it's gone. Sorry, some people got ripped off. But
I feel sorry for the staff more than anything. There was where staff wasn't being paid. There was also legal obligations, and coming from my background in law enforcement, I was like, oh my God. It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote them directly and I said, I'm nervous because what's going to happen is you're going to get customers that come through and they're going to say that they got ripped off and you don't have security. You don't have anybody to do anything about it.
Nope.
You're going to end up somebody's going to get hurt here. Like there's the fact that, you think you're going to be able to make enough money to pay these folks. I guarantee you're not going to be able to pay these folks. Sure enough, within a couple of weeks, the checks were bouncing. So yeah. Glad that's over. And like I said, sorry that some folks got ripped off. And I do mean specifically the actors, the people that work there. And I know there was a handful of customers who did go there and got ripped off. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, that was definitely a thing to watch.
When they say a dumpster fire, I'm like, that's a good explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So no, I mean, it's interesting again, being, I try to stay focused on like, I've never been to Woods of Terror. I've been invited. I could go down there and everything. I really just try to stay hyper focused on the Chicagoland area. I love this community. I love the haunts that we have here. It's really crazy and cool to see like people that I managed or trained when, many, many years ago are now running the shows or, high positions at the shows. And again, like working with, people like Andrew Martingello and Barbie Hood, who again, I've worked with since back in the Dream Reapers days. Like that, just, I've been to weddings, funerals, births, for all of these, for so many folks. And it's interesting to see how we've all grown and matured.
Yes. Well, like my generation, are haunt owners now. I got friends of mine that we worked together as actors. That's what we started off as. We never thought we would come to what we are now of what we're doing. Me and my good friend Linda, I talk about her all the time because I'm just so proud of her. I said, girl, 18 years ago, we did not see where we are now, because that's how long we've known each other. We've known each other since the beginning. I said, we just started off as actors here in St. Louis and worked our way. We thought the most we would ever work our way up is just maybe management, section leads. Like that was the ultimate goal we would ever thought we would be. No, now she's a haunt owner and I'm a media influencer within the industry. We know a lot of people. We have both traveled all over. She's worked for multiple different haunted attractions and other companies before she finally settled down here. She's got children now, so she's a little bit more settled down, but her and her husband own a haunted attraction out here. Terror on Route 66, about 30 minutes from my house out here. So, and what they're doing is they're doing something completely different. They do rated R pass which is really have never been done here in Missouri. So it's been done at other haunted houses all over the place. But it's more further Midwest is really big about it. While here in the more middle section of the Midwest, we really don't do it out here. We can do the touch pass or whatever, but she's full on rated R, like haunted hoochie style.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we just talked about like how our growth, we never thought we would be who we are 18 years later. And it's crazy. We're living that life now.
I once, so one of the things that Jim from 11th Hour really helped me out with is he introduced me to the community, and he brought me to Trans World. He brought me to IAPA. And really, like, again, I got to hang out with, Ben Armstrong, my first year haunting,
Yes.
Not having any idea. And I don't know that Netherworld was already respected at that point, but it certainly wasn't what it is now. But like, he brought me into that fold of a lot of the big names, and but also he got me a job working for a booth, working for Studio Tech, and I was Brewster, doing the bungee jump thing, which then led me to meeting Jonah from Billy Bob Teeth, and I ended up working for Jonah as well and doing trade shows for him. And like, I at one point I looked at it, I was like, if you had told me the impact that plastic teeth were going to have on my life, I would have never believed it. But, Jonah helped me, like, I was making enough money doing those shows to finish up college and all that stuff, and finish up my degree. I was working part-time just to, while I was trying to finish the degree, and then I'd get a gig from him where I'm all of a sudden going to a grocery conference selling Billy Bob pacifiers. But then he introduced me to Bloody Mary, and I became good friends with her. And it's like,
Yep.
But it's all those connections and all those little things. And a lot of it came back to be going and buying some goofy teeth and,
Yep.
and going, all right, let's see what happens with this.
And then there you go.
And that's it. So, like I said, I've done another character. I do have a witch character, and it was funny. I was always like, oh, I'm going to build new costume. I'm going to make something new. And I just never really did. And, now that I'm older and I've got Lost Souls as a source of income. We don't make great money, but like, I like to say it pays for my Halloween habit. So I was able to then buy a mask from Brandy Beast, and then buy a costume from Teddy Summers, and like start being able to support my friends who are creating those things. And I didn't know Brandy at the time, but when I first saw her stuff, I was like, oh, that's the look I'm looking for.
She makes some incredible stuff.
Oh, so wonderful. And I finally got to buy something. I had enough money in my pocket to buy something from Brian Blair, and I got a swamp stick. And it feels good to be able to support the folks who are making such great stuff, and just be like, you're not going to build it, man. Just go buy it from your friends. It's okay.
I do too, though. No shame in that. I have masks that I bought from the big names all the way down to the small names. I've had friends personally make some stuff for me, commission stuff. And then majority of the stuff I make on my own, but like costumes, these two here behind me. So this is back when I was a broke college kid, when I made Jingles the Elf, because we were doing a Christmas house out at Creepy World. That is from my favorite red hoodie that I sacrificed for the haunt, and then fabric that I took off an old blanket. Because I was a broke college kid. I didn't have money. So I took what I had in my closet, went to the Dollar Tree, was able to get some fur fabric to add on to the hood and the cufflinks of the sweater. And then everything else was added on years later. The jingle bells, they came years later. It's because I was finding random bells all through the haunt that fell off of props, and I was putting them on the costume. And then here's a costume over here that I made completely from scratch because I had money to go out and buy all that fabric and make it completely from scratch. So here's what I threw together that I had in my closet, and what little talent I had at the time to make something scary, versus here's some that I made overnight with fabric that I went and bought. So like, here's my $10 costume. Here's a $50 costume. Because it was about $50 worth of fabric. So, I mean, absolutely no shame. I got everything from silicone to latex to I wouldn't even know what materials those are made of. I was just like, that looks cool. I want it. Jimmy is a good example. So I have one character called the menstrual monster, and it just looks like a giant walking bloody tampon. And it's because Jimmy posted on his story that mask, and as soon as I seen it on his story, he didn't even have it for sale yet or nothing. He just posted on his story what he was working in the shop, and I immediately said, "How much? That's mine now." And I built a whole character around it.
That's awesome.
And of course, people are like, "The what? The menstrual monster." That's what.
Yeah, you do that at Terror on Route 66, I assume.
No, actually, Woods of Terror.
Oh wow! Nice.
I did it. Woods of Terror. What's great is because Woods of Terror has so many different themes that I can be whatever character I want. So at Woods of Terror, that's usually where I showcase a brand new character. Otherwise, I have over 30 characters that can fit any kind of haunted house theme. But Woods of Terror is definitely where I go to showcase a new costume. So that's where I went for halfway to Halloween, was to showcase that costume. So, and then it has made it out to Evil Intentions, and Fitz and them were just like, that is just so great. And then when I told them the name, they're like, they're like, the what? Like, they're laughing about it, but they're like, that's gross, Sammy. I'm like, it's terrifying though. People literally go and they go, what the hell is that? Oh God. Oh. Like, why is that bloody tampon coming at me? And it's a silent character. It doesn't talk. I literally just do all these weird twitches and like I sit there and like shake my head real fast, like waiting for my head to spin around. I'll do some weird contortive stuff, and it just freaks people out. And it's just gross to look at.
See, and I love that. I like when people, like almost dehumanize themselves, because otherwise, a lot of it's just, it's people in weird looking costumes, right? It's people in weird looking clothes rather.
Yes.
But when you do something where it's just totally mutated, and
where you become that character.
Yeah. And it's less human. It's less humanoid and everything. And I think especially, and this is something that I saw change back with the Svenpuss folks. Before that, like women had to be like, you had to be sexy vamp, like that type of character. And to see them start to like put out these, they did the twins, the Siamese twins, Brooke and Reggie did the Siamese twins. And I remember like the breath just being pulled out of the room. Like everybody, was like, what is this next level shit? This is incredible. And I think that they really helped to make it okay for female identifying folks to dress gross and not have to be sexy vamp or whatever. I love that. I love when people do that. I love when especially when women are strengthening themselves by being as just disgusting as they want. For guys, it was always kind of okay, and it was always kind of the way it, but for women, it was, there were only a handful of roles that most women would play, and a lot of them leaned into sexiness. And I personally I don't like that in haunts. You're supposed to be scary. Don't be
seductive.
Don't be seductive. I think Bonnie Bones always did that really well, where she was just, she was never overly never overly like sexual or anything like that, but cute, and would lure people in, and then would turn around and like take a bite out of a cow liver.
That's how you're supposed to do it, to where, you're a little seductive to lure them in, but once they're in, you just go full on demon. It fucks them up. Because they're like, what just happened? I love doing those with customers. Jingles is my most talkative character besides my clown character. And that's what I do with people. I act like I'm all all cute and innocent and blah, blah, blah. Even though I'm covered in blood, I'm scary looking. I'm not cute looking, but I act like that. And then all of a sudden I go completely twisted and demented. And they're like, what the fuck just happened? But then I'm also goofy and funny at the same time. And customers a lot of times are like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
That's a fun character to let loose in. But like my original character, Nurse Chainsaw, that character happened on accident. But people were telling me that's supposed to be a sexy, seductive character. And I'm like, yeah, to lure you into a room so I can shove the chainsaw into your chest.
Well, it's holy shit. Tickets are half gone, y'all.
Let me get on that real quick.
Sorry, I thanks, Josh. I saw Josh said, I just got my tickets. So I was like, well, just look. Yeah, tickets are halfway gone. So get your tickets now, y'all. I'm not joking.
Hold on. I'm doing that right now. Hold on. Like, sweet Jesus. Y'all just couldn't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I'd known. I would have secured your tickets earlier, Sammy. I didn't actually know you were coming.
I'm doing that right now.
I'm glad to see Michael. Michael's in this chat too. He's and he came out to our tour this year too. I know he drove quite a distance to come out, and again kind of joined in and hung out with the crew. And I know he had a fun time. So glad to see he discovered Terror on Route 66 from this episode. So.
Yes, Michael, let me tell you, if you want a rated R experience, you definitely need to.
Uh-oh. You're lagging out here. There you go. You were frozen for a second there.
Yeah, I know. It's StreamYard likes to tell you at the 2-hour mark to get off. And I say, no, I'm going to keep going. I'll keep going until you crash completely. It didn't do it the last time, which was funny. So I was like, maybe StreamYard finally got it together. And then today I'm like, nope, yeah, sure didn't. But no, that's the thing. Like, there's so many different types of characters now, and the actor industry part of this just continues to grow. I keep, within my 18 seasons, I thought I've seen it all. I would have thought, because I travel so much nationally with haunted attractions. Every year I see new things. I see either from an actor I've known from years develop a brand new character, or they just continue to grow their character, or something completely new. And it's crazy when I find a really damn good character that I actually really love. And then I find out that actor is brand new, has never done this before. And I'm like, fuck. Right.
Yeah, no, it's always exciting to see the new stuff. And it's interesting too. A lot of folks are starting to like incorporate technology into their stuff. I know, like, again, I know you did that beautiful, Hornet, the
Beelzebub.
Yeah, exactly. You did all that, utilizing 3D print for all that. I think it's really funny that there was a few people who started incorporating mini smoke machines into their outfits, and now there's a vest that you can buy that the smoke comes out of it. Like, so people are starting to market that stuff too. But it's interesting to see that these the technology is so readily available. And seeing the creativity that comes out of it, where now people have all these lights and smoke and things happening within their costume. People are using the voice changers and the voice amplifiers, which, God, thinking about, how loud we had to be, and we still have to be. Sometimes I'm looking at those, I'm like, that sounds nice to be able to talk. Be able to talk tomorrow, that'd be great.
Right. Where was this when we started?
Right. But it continues to grow. It continues to evolve. And, I've really focused, I've tried to focus my energy, throughout the haunts that I've worked at is in developing safety and really helping to make sure that, there were things that happened at haunts that I worked with in the past, and I've heard of that have happened in other places. And it was a very predatory environment. And I think we've done a really good job of pushing that away and really professionalizing it. Again, 20 years ago, the only way to make money in haunting was to either run the haunt yourself or have a successful prop company, which everybody tries. Now there's so much more money in the haunts. There's so many other opportunities within the haunts where people are getting paid, at least minimum wage at most places, back in the day, I was getting $20 a night
Yes.
as a manager.
Yes.
And the thing is, it wasn't, we weren't getting ripped off. That was literally what they could afford. That was what would, like, anything more than that, they wouldn't have been able to operate. I know the owners of some of the haunts that I worked at were not making great money. And we're, doing it for the love. And for me, I can do something for the love for so long. And then eventually it's like, I got to make some money doing this. So, but it is definitely grown and evolved a lot over the years. And I'm always excited when I see, to your point, the younger kids coming up with new, cool ideas, stuff that we've never seen before.
Yes.
It's exciting.
It's both humbling and overwhelming, because I'm like, where was this when I started? Like, y'all have to, it's just too easy. Like I said, they complain about, having hell weekend. And I'm like, we had a hell month, the entire month. Plus we had weeks before that we were still open too. So almost 2 whole months of this.
And I would say our seasons here in Chicago have gotten, they were shorter back then. They're much longer now. Most places are opening, mid to late September, and then some of them are going into November. So our seasons are definitely longer now and more grueling now than they used to be. But again, there's, some places have multiple shifts. They have enough actors where they're actually rotating people in and out. So you don't have to, you're not working 4 days. You're not working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're not always having to do that. But a lot of them are definitely in this area are still running pretty hard when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it comes to fun week, as I like to call it.
In my management days, I was very blessed to have, a big enough team to where I did do shifts too. My veteran actors, they worked every freaking night. They loved it too much. But for my newer people, and a lot of them were in high school and stuff. So they would work Fridays and Saturdays, but they did not work Thursdays or Sundays. They did not work on school nights. Unless it was Halloween night, then they usually would request, well, can we work actual Halloween night? And I'm like, because it's a shorter night. We're not going to be open till midnight. We'll definitely get you home so you can get home and get some sleep and go back to school the next day.
Yeah. We did not.
No, we didn't. I worked every single night. They looked at me like, you don't get a night off. And you were like, St. Louis was a totally different ball game compared to Chicago. Like I said, we were open for the entire month, but that was our owners choosing to do that. Be open every single night in October back then. It was to be better than any other haunt in the area. It was to best Six Flags, because they were only strictly weekends during October. But that was a different time, different era than it is now. Now the haunts are no longer like that. Now it's just either open for the entire last week of October or just opening an extra day for the weekend of October. Otherwise, now it's strictly mostly Thursdays or Sundays like everybody else. But again, times change, things are different, and it's just easier on the younger generation that you have, because most haunted houses still have the younger generation outnumbers the older generation, actor-wise especially. Because this is a great startup job for them. It's only seasonal. It's a fun job. Yes, it's physically demanding, but it's a fun job. And there are opportunities to grow, because I've had my actors go from an actor to security because they wanted to get into law enforcement and private security jobs. So they got on with security as an experience to get them that job that they wanted.
Yeah. And there's so many different pieces that go into it that you can find your niche within haunting, because it requires so many different skills. Like, I'm a weirdo in that, like, I'll sit here and, like, I love spreadsheets and I love doing, like, the admin, the back end, computer nerd stuff. I love that. I love doing it. And most actor managers are not trying to like, oh golly, I want to spend a whole bunch of time working on a spreadsheet. Whereas I'm like, no, look how pretty this is.
All right, I got my ticket secured.
Beautiful. Yeah, that was like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect that. So watching this bus be half full already, I'm pretty excited. But yeah, and I have not heard back from the haunts yet, so I still got to push them again to say, hey guys, do you want these tickets or not? So,
all right,
it's gonna be fun.
Yes. All right. Well, we are coming up to the 2-hour mark. Japes, thank you so much for joining me today on our annual Christmas episode.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks for coming out and checking out Lost Souls this year. I was very excited when I saw that you bought your tickets. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm glad she's going to come check it out. I'm really excited you're going to come see the Xmas tour with me as well.
Yep.
So, appreciate your support for sure.
I absolutely appreciate you for giving me and my podcast the shout out on the bus tour. I was treated like the unicorn. I was like, oh my God. Just because I was new, everybody else that was there are continuous goers and they knew each other. And then they just treated me like one of their own. And I absolutely appreciated that. That really absolutely made my night.
Yeah, no, well, again, our whole thing is we want to bring you inside the haunt industry, right? So
yes.
that's what Lost Souls does. And so when we have people that are from other markets or from other places within the haunt space, I want to showcase that, like, hey, look, here's a person who really knows this stuff. Because some of our customers will sit there and will want to ask you questions and understand how all this works and how does this compare to what you see down in St. Louis and those types of things. Yep. And so, yeah, no, we're happy to highlight you. And again, happy you've, been able to come and visit us.
Yep. Now I'm excited to see the Christmas side of it. All right. Well, everyone, I am your host, Chainsaw Sammy of Into the Fear podcast, and we will see you guys here soon. Merry Krampus.